With less than 25 games into the 2018-19 season, the Chicago Bulls have a 5-19 record. While many are hoping the Bulls can finally turn things around now that Larry Marketing has returned and the pending returns of Chris Dunn and Bobby Portis from the injured list, there are many within Bulls Nation who feel it's time to get the tank started. Well, in this episode, I'll discuss reasons why the Start Tank crowd feel it should get underway. I'll also state the case for the optimistic crowd on why we shouldn't give up on the season just yet. Going into this upcoming NBA season, many within Bulls Nation were super excited about what we were hoping would become of year two of the rebuild. Many definitely felt like the Chicago Bulls could improve upon last year's record, so much so that some were even considering the Bulls as a potential 8th seed in the NBA playoffs for this upcoming season. Well, fast forward to now with the inconsistent play of the team and injuries, we've gotten off to a 5-19 record, and with that, many people within our fan base are clamoring for a tank to begin so we can go all in on adding more talent through the draft to this team. Well, with that being said, I'll discuss a few reasons why that segment of the Chicago Bulls fan base feel that way, and then I'll follow it up with a few reasons why we may not need to give up on the season just yet. Reasons to tank, or should I say, the player to tank for, none other than Zion Williamson, forward out of Duke University. Explosive, generational talent, unique skill set. Those are just a few words used to describe Zion Williamson. I mean, he's taking college basketball by storm and is now projected to be the number one pick in the upcoming 2019 draft. And reason number one why many Bulls fans are clamoring for the tank to begin. I mean, let's take a look at what he does. I mean, he's over 270. He has a 40-inch vertical. He's powerful at the rim. He's a solid ball handler and distributor. Has length and can defend multiple positions. He's explosive in the open court as both a passer and a finisher. Now, how he would fit with the Chicago Bulls would be interesting. It's more than likely that at the NBA level, he'll play the forward position. But if drafted by the Bulls, he'll more than likely be slotted in as a three, as a small forward, due to the fact that we have Larry Marketing as our power forward for the future. But his feel for the game, his vision, his unselfishness and creativity in the open floor would certainly be an added welcome for a team looking to get the ball up the court and push the pace, as we are here in Chicago. He's a disruptive defender. He's capable of stealing the ball, stripping the ball. He blocks shots, because some consider him a chase down artist, though he hustles hard on the defensive end, as well as he hustles hard for rebounds. And for a team that struggles in that area, to add a player who knows the importance of the defense, and more importantly, who gives his all on that end of the floor, could only help the Chicago Bulls get even better. But more importantly than his skill set and his talent is his exceptional approach to the game. The serious approach that he brings, the passion he plays with, would all be pluses if he becomes a member of the Chicago Bulls. If not for the attention that Zion Williamson has received, R.J. Barrett would be the freshman getting the attention of the college basketball world. He's a jack-of-all-trades type player, a do-all wing with a huge upside. He's God known for making right plays, good decision. He's a smooth player and excellent at getting to the rim. Now, should the Bulls end up picking higher in the draft, he would definitely be a good player to add to the roster, as he would slot in at the small forward spot. His solid playmaking will allow for more spacing, being that he has the ability to get to the basket and create for himself as well as his teammates, will certainly open up a wealth of offense for the Chicago Bulls. And with his 6'10 wingspan and good defensive instincts, he has the potential to be a solid, if not great, defensive player. And last but not least, Cam Reddish, who is the third freshman phenom on the Duke roster this season. Cam Reddish is a sharp shooter. Now, he would actually feel more of a need should he be drafted by the Chicago Bulls, being that he's a consistent outside shooter, he's a scorer. He does have the ability to put the ball on the floor and score at the rim, and he also is capable of guarding both guard positions. Where his fit would lie with the Chicago Bulls, of course, would be the fact that we would add an outside shooter who shoots the ball consistently from outside. Although we have players that are capable of hitting those outside shots, he's one of those guys who's a dead-eye three-point shooting type player. We would add another wing who's capable and thrives in the pick and roll game. Also, he would certainly space the floor with his ability to hit the shot from outside consistently, and he would give the Bulls flexibility on D with his versatility guarding both guard positions. He also has a 7'1" wingspan, which makes him a factor in passing lanes, and he would be a good fit for any team that has a switch-heavy team defensive scheme, much like our Chicago Bulls. Give up on this season just yet. Reason number one, let's establish a winning culture. Now, while it's likely our Bulls could very well end up in the lottery when all is said and done for this season, and of course adding more talent through the draft is a necessity for any team that's rebuilding, it should not be our goal. I mean, no denying the Bulls have talented players, got players like Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, etc., etc. But once healthy, the focus needs to shift towards developing a winning environment. I mean, we've played 8 games so far this season in which we've lost by 5 points or less. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that, to be honest, we don't know how to win yet. We have yet to establish what it takes to win basketball games down the stretch. And this is the perfect time for us to do that. We have a young team. We have players that are growing and developing as we speak, that are getting better day in and day out. But at the same time, we haven't established an identity, either offensively or defensively. We haven't established a winning culture to where we know who we're going to down the stretch. Yeah, Zach LaVine has started to show those things this year. But at the end of the day, nothing teaches you how to win like winning. All the moral victories in the world don't equate to a win in the win column. It still counts as a loss, even though you see some positive things, you see some good things. When you have games that we play well, but yet still the outcome doesn't necessarily match how well we played, such as, losses. So with that being said, I think it's important for the Chicago Bulls to really define the core of this team. I think it's important for the team to really focus on establishing that culture, that championship winning culture, building those winning habits now, so that when the players start to really truly find their groove and get into who they're truly going to be as players, we can start to see it in the win column. Another reason why I'm not enamored about going all in for a tank is that there are quite a few changes that have taken place in the draft lottery system since last year. Now, last year, the team with the worst record had a 25% chance of winning the NBA draft lottery. That team could also pick no less than 4th in the draft. However, with the new changes that have come down the pike, the team with the worst record, the second team, and the third team with the worst record all have the same draft lottery odds, which is now 14%. Also, the team with the worst record, the pick that they could, they can finish they can pick, I should say, no worse than the 5th pick in the draft. So not only have the odds dropped, but the fact that the worst you can pick now is a slot down at number 5. So, I mean, what really do you gain in tanking if your odds aren't exactly any higher than the team that finished behind you in the loss column, or the team behind them that finished in the loss column? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer of what's meant for you is for you. I mean, case in point, in 2008, the Chicago Bulls had a 1.9% chance of winning the NBA draft lottery. If things have gone true to form in that 2018 draft lottery, the Chicago Bulls would have been picking 9th in the draft. However, the Bulls actually ended up leapfrogging 8 other teams and picking 1st. And if you all can recall, the player that we took with that pick was none other than Derrick Rose. So with that being said, if it's meant for you to win the draft lottery, whether you go all in for a tank or whether you do just a little, or whether you win some games and then you see your draft positioning drop from a top 2 or 3 pick to ninth or 10th in the draft, if it's truly meant for you to get that lottery pick, it'll happen. You know, so for someone who is still excited about this season, still looking forward to seeing what we can really look like once our team is fully healthy, I for one am not ready to give up on this season. There's been way too many teams in the NBA history who've gotten off to slow starts and are only to turn it around and still manage to have successful seasons. A few years ago, the Phoenix Suns got off to an 0-13 start, still managed to make the playoffs. Hell, even last year, Utah, who wasn't even in the playoff picture, I think around this time last year, finished with the 5th seed in the Western Conference after getting off to the slow start that they got off to. So don't give up on our Bulls just yet. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. What I would like for you guys to do is just leave a comment down below on which team are you on. Are you Team Tank for the Chicago Bulls or are you Team Bank for the Chicago Bulls? And if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload content. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, good night and God bless.